everybody, and welcome to Tops of the Cop. And I am absolutely delighted here today to welcome Liverpool legend and 90s legend in my eyes is Jason McAteer, mate. Thank you so much for being with us. I really appreciate it,
legend. I definitely don't fit into that bracket.
Well, it depends who you talk to, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, my kids think I am.
So there you go. That's the only one that matters. That's the only one that matters, mate. So obviously, if you've watched the previous episode of Patrick Berger, you'll know the format of the show already, where Jason has very kindly picked his 5 Liverpool shirts that he wore that were his favourite, and we'll go into some stories. And I'm absolutely delighted that we're going to go through this, mate. So
I don't know where to start, to be honest. Probably the beginning of my life with football kits. Obviously, I grew up a big Liverpool fan, but it was when times were hard and money was tight, and I desperately wanted a Liverpool kit for Christmas, and my mum made me a Liverpool kit. Wow. Using a sewing machine, using what I only can probably think of back then would be curtain material.
Wow.
So it was like really heavy red material. And she bought a badge, and it was probably the size of this.
Yeah.
This is why this is a little bit special as well. And she sewed it onto this kit that she made, wow, which was really itchy. And when it got wet, went really heavy. It's like a suit of armor. But that was my first Liverpool kit, and we just couldn't afford football kits. Yeah. And as a kid, it's all. I mean, my kids now, all they live in is football kits, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it's all they ever want and all they ever ask for. And I was no different, but we couldn't afford it. So to then go on and earn the right to put on a football kit,
yeah,
but a proper Liverpool football kit, it was like putting on it's like being a superhero.
Yeah,
it was absolutely. I can't tell you the feeling. I mean, when I went to Bolton to become a professional footballer, obviously putting their kit on was amazing, but there was nothing like walking in. I mean, I done the team photos, you know, and you hold the kit up and you do the smiles and all that. But nothing prepares you for walking into the dressing room at Anfield, and that's hanging up in your space, with your name and number on the back.
Yeah,
that's how you walk in, and that is like, it just blows you away. And you've got to stay professional, and you've got to like do all the right things, but inside the kid in you is saying, "Oh my God, this is just like the best."
Yeah,
and it's like you cherish it. You put it on, and it's like you become Spider-Man. It's like Iron Man. It's like you just become invincible.
Be home about 10:30, Mum. Get me tea on, please.
You can just, we might as well start with the first one that you wore, which is the Adidas 1995 to 1996 shirt. Really popular for the collar, because obviously it was going back to the 70s and mid 80s for that collar. Obviously there was a question about the comfort of the collar, but mate, this was the first shirt that you wore with the day that you signed, and there's a very infamous video when Rob Palmer was joining you on your signing day and you got out of bed wearing this shirt, which was quite funny. But mate, talk to me about this one.
As far as the kit goes, I was so Adidas. I was so there's a story into that as well. So I was a young staff player at Adidas. They took me on when I was at Bolton.
Yeah.
So I wore World Cups and Copas. They were just the classic boots, and I was on a small retainer, monetary retainer, and obviously kit, and boots. So I was allowed to go to the factory in Stockport, and all my family were just kitted out in Adidas shell suits.
Awesome.
And so we go down there probably once a month, just get a big Adidas bag and just fill it with gear, and all my mates would get all the gear in it. So unfortunately for me, what happened was, and funny now, the irony of it, Craig Johnson then produces the Predator.
Yeah.
And they say to all the young kids, because they want all us to test them and wear them, you got to wear the Predator. Well, the Predator in the early days, as you know, was like probably putting a boot on the side of this table, was a size 9, and you look like Coco the Clown just when you walked out with these bits of rubber everywhere. And I just couldn't take to them. And Robbie was the same. You know, we used to wear boots too small for us because we were feel. Everything was feel. So the boots had to be tight. They had to be like really fitted. And these Predators just didn't cut it. So I lost my contract. I basically said, listen, I don't want to wear Predators you know, this is too much of a, you know, a big thing for me playing. I need to be comfortable in my boots.
Yeah.
So I switched. I went to Reebok, but Adidas was obviously the first kit. You asked me about the neck. Some of the lads cut there
I've
for
noticed
bit,
that, yeah.
a bit more space. But I was always comfortable. I was always comfortable in this kit. It makes me laugh because of the size of it.
Yeah.
And when you just mentioned it there, we did the video where Rob Palmer follows me to the signing. When Adidas had found out that I was possibly going to sign for Liverpool, they sent me a kit. And it was like extra large. I used to sleep in it. I think it was Neil Ruddock's kit, to be honest. It was massive. And I used to sleep in it. And then obviously we do the video, and I've got it on and I show it. And then I used to collect all the videos. I've just seen them up there.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I used to collect all them and watch them in my bedroom with one of them tellies with the video.
So, yeah, we all had them, didn't we? They were brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of that video, isn't it? Because when you open the drawer, you know, all these are in it. The cup final one that you went to, and then in your undies drawer, there's the shirt you swapped with Jamie Redknapp.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, that was the 95 League Cup final.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was bittersweet for me because I get to play against Liverpool, but we lose the game. A bit like the 96 Cup final. But I'd just got into I played in the World Cup in 94 for Ireland, and I was making a bit of a name for myself. So when I was going out, because we were allowed to go out in the 90s, we were very accessible, you know, to a lot of people and stuff. I would bump into Macca and Robbie and Jamie and stuff, and Babsy, obviously, because of the connection from the Irish squad. And I'd end up having a drink with them. I'd be out with my mates, but I'd see them. They'd come over, they'd buy me a drink, and I got to know them. So when we played at Wembley in '95, obviously I knew Jamie, and I was obviously thought he was great. And I just said, "Do you want to swap shirts?" So and it followed a theme with my swapping shirts through my career. I always swapped with my mates.
Right. Okay.
I was never bothered about swapping with the big hitters on a team.
Yeah.
So like we played Scotland, the swap with Don Hutchinson. I'm trying to think who else has got Jamie's England, got a cheer from Jamie from England. Swap with Mark Hughes when I was at Blackburn because we become good friends. I'm trying to think who else I've got as mates. But I'd probably Stubbsy.
Oh yeah.
I'd swap with Stubbsy.
Yeah.
He was at Everton, swap with him. So I was never interested in going to get Kaka's shirts or whoever. It was just if I had a relationship with them or a friendship,
it's good that
I'd get their shirts. Yeah.
It's really unique. Now with this one as well, obviously it was the last sort of home shirt of the first tenure of Adidas. And when you think about this shirt, you know, a lot of us fans, we think about the Newcastle 4-3 game.
Yeah.
Which was just, I mean, I know there was two, which we'll go on to when we speak about another shirt, but that game was just incredible from our point of view. But for someone who played in it and had a big effect on the game as well with the assists and stuff like that, what was that like to play?
Crazy, really, because I think we both challenging, weren't we? And I think, you know, we were maybe in a better position than Newcastle, so I think we were ending their opportunity of winning the league. I think if we won the game, it was under the lights. You know, the mud had been rolled. I mean, they certainly weren't like they play on today. But it was just, you know, was it Kenny was the first one or Keegan?
Keegan was the first one.
Yeah.
Was the second,
I mean, when I say Kenny and Keegan, they both had the same idealisms of playing the Liverpool way. So their team was very attacking, you know, very creative in the nature of the setup. Lots of really talented offensive players who scored a lot of goals, but our team was very similar. So it was either going to be a real boring 0-0 or you were going to get loads of goals.
Yeah.
And you know, we played out the latter, really. You know, there was 7 goals scored end to end. Playing in it was just, I never felt tired.
Yeah.
I never felt tired in the game. It was just a real energetic game played at a high tempo because it was backwards and forwards and there was always something happening. You just didn't get time to be tired. You know what I mean? It was just, and then before you know it, it was like 90 minutes was up. Scored the winner. I mean, if you look at the celebration on the 90th minute of the effort people put in to celebrate, you know, you think we'd be on our knees, wouldn't you? We just found this adrenaline. It was just like adrenaline. I love adrenaline. Yeah. We should bottle that and sell it to make a fortune.
But I mean, that adrenaline when you fucking pass that ball in the box to Collymore, class that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
what an assist that was.
I mean, you know, I was forever putting balls into the box, wasn't I? And, you know, that was my game, up and down, wing back, give me the license to get forward. I just found myself in a position where I could just manage to whip it in. John Barnes says it goes through Beresford's legs. It doesn't. I use Beresford and it goes round him. It was cultured. But I obviously I work with Andy Gray now, and we laugh and joke about it because Andy says in commentary, his phrase is, "That is a horrible ball."
Yeah.
And I think he goes on to say there was a cross by Collymore in the first half. This one's better. And we laugh about it now. And he obviously does it for me. He does the commentary when I'm with him. And it brings back loads of good memories, yeah. But, I mean, listen, when you win the game 4-3 and it's a last-minute winner, there's stuff dreams are made of, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Had we have lost the other way, we might not be talking about it.
That is true. And that's why it's iconic, because everyone loves it. And it's so hard to get hold of now, this shirt. It really is. It's really hard to get hold of. Yeah, don't get me wrong, they are available, but you're talking over £100 now is the average with what they go for in mint condition. You will find a few of them that have this restitch, because again, a lot of people copy, follow suit, and they cut the collar. But I still, when I played in this as a kid, it was still like what you said before about curtains. It was still really heavy when it got wet.
Yeah, this was a heavy shirt, yeah. And it was big as well. There was a lot of material to it, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But it went with the shorts and the socks, and it just looked like a really nice uniform. And the reds, I actually, of all the kits I wore, I mean, we're going to go on to the Reebok one. This red is actually better than this red.
I agree, yeah.
You know, they've gone away from it with this one. I don't know whether they weren't allowed or whatever. I don't know. But this red for me was a better red.
Yeah.
I didn't play in it because I came the season after. I actually did like the
three stripes up the sides, yeah. It was
I
good.
actually really liked that.
It was really nice, that. And that was a brighter red.
Yeah.
But it was the way they had the chevrons and everything. It looked great. I thought it was a lot better than the 3 going down the shoulder from the year before, the centenary one, when we won the FA Cup in '92. But yeah, it was lovely, that. But they nailed it. They really did.
We're a fan of the badge. The badge had just changed, hadn't it? This had kind of changed. As you were saying, we were moving into a more creative world, weren't we? And graphic designers were coming around, weren't they? And everyone had something to say, and computers were coming onto the scenes and that, and things were being able to be changed. I wasn't a fan of this. I like, what would be the word? Like, I don't like flash.
Yeah.
Don't like big. I like simple. And I used to love, back in the day, just the Liverbird with LFC.
Yeah.
Just loved it. But the badge, they changed it around, and it was what it was. But yeah, it's a very special shirt.
It is. It's a good one. And but yeah, Rochdale, first goal, wasn't it?
FA Cup.
FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah, Mickey Thomas plays me in. Yeah, and I smashed it into the top right corner. Yeah, and ran away like it was the winner against Man United in the World Cup.
You were living our dream, mate. You were living our dream.
I remember celebrating, turning around, thinking all the lads would be on top of me, and I turned around and they're just walking back to the centre circle. I was like, right, I'll just celebrate on my own.
Yeah, right, lad, you scored your first goal. Come on.
Come on.
As the game goes on. Thomas. Now McAteer. Oh, that'll mean a lot to the Liverpool fan. He scores his first goal, a magnificent 7.
Right, then we'll stick with that season then, because now we are going on to one of the most popular kits that we've ever had, which is the away shirt from the same season. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is actually a throwback to the very first shirt that Liverpool ever wore, which was it was actually like a light blue and a white in the same sort of quadrants. And Adidas was sort of setting the trend of harping back to that as well. And again, when you look at it, I think it's a brilliant design. I love the fact that they've got the 3 stripes and the jacquard going down is great. I love the grandad collar. I really do. I think that's a really, really nice touch. And it just looks fantastic. And again, you go back to memories for it. A lot of people will go, oh, the FA Cup final and this, that, and the other. But for me, it's the 2-2 at Old Trafford, spoiling Cantona's day. That's one of my favourite things. And the FA Cup semi against Villa.
Funny you should say that, yeah. FA Cup, Villa. I obviously scored in it. And then the other 2, for me, not so good memories, but great if you know what I mean. And I'll explain in a minute. Yeah, I know what you're saying about this kit. Listen, when you know there's a kit coming, you are excited. And I don't care, even players now, right, will be excited about a new kit. Yeah. Everyone loves a new kit. Everyone's wondering what it's going to be like, why. the history of it. And I think there's so much more goes into it now. But you're right, sort of in the 90s, there was a clamour for being nostalgic, holding on to the past and incorporating it.
Correct. Yeah.
And the other thing is they were pushing boundaries in sports where they went away from traditional, which was just a V-neck basically, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was, how can we be different? And you've said it there. I think Newcastle had a collar like this, didn't they?
Yeah.
They kind of followed suit. Was that Adidas as well?
It was Adidas as well, yeah.
So this is going back to Liverpool, like you just said there, way back in the day with the granddad collar, wasn't it? Which we were a little bit like, ooh, but the 90s had a bit of a granddad collar going on,
it really
didn't it? So there
yeah.
was that, okay, we like it. Then there's the quadrant, as you said, which goes back to the beginning. For me, when I seen it, it was a bit, oh, okay, right, okay. Get the history, get it going on, put it on. But then I think, if you're undecided about a kit, the memories of whether you like it or not, the memories set the tone. Scored in the semi-final.
Yeah.
So obviously then I become a lover of this kit.
Correct, yeah.
But when you're a kid and you're growing up, back in our day, it weren't, I know it's mad, it weren't winning the European Cup. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
And I think because there was not that much exposure and footage of it, it was one night, wasn't it? You might stay up and watch the European Cup final. I was probably 8 or 9 as they were starting to win them in 78 and so on into the 80s. So I knew about them. But the FA Cup was the day you get up, you watch Grandstand, you follow the bus. It's the FA Cup final. You put your shirt on, which is made of curtain material and 3 ton in weight, and you watch Liverpool win the FA Cup. And you look at it and go, that's what I want to do as a kid. I want to be Kenny Dalglish scoring the winner in the FA Cup final. And after the game, you run out and play in your mates with the park, and you are Kenny Dalglish scoring the winner in the park, which you've mapped out as Wembley. So to get to the cup final, for me, was everything. But to play for Liverpool was just the ultimate dream.
Yeah.
Just you, like, it was brilliant. Everything about it, I got to live. The song, I took tickets round to the fella who started my football career when I was about 9 years of age. Went round to his house, gave him 2 tickets.
Love that.
Just the build up, just the whole experience of the going down on the Thursday, going up Wembley Way, the dressing room, going out on the pitch. Okay, we got it wrong with the suits, but we might have got it right had we won. And then you put this kit on and you go out and play. I had a big day because I was Martin Giggsy. Unfortunately, the game we cancelled each other out. Yeah. It was either going to be Newcastle or it was going to be a 0-0.
Correct.
And it was a 0-0.
Yeah.
Nothing much happened. Jamie possibly should have scored in the first half. They end up, Cantona, it was setting the stars, wanted for him to score the winner.
It was. Yeah.
So yeah, lots of tears in this, but just the fact that I played in the FA Cup final, can never be taken away.
Absolutely.
And this was the uniform I was in. Very special, yeah.
Right then, so moving on, we've now moved into the Reebok era. So the 96, well, basically 96 to 98 shirt now, because we moved into an era where you could wear the shirt for 2 years, and they didn't change for the home shirt for a long time. And yeah, this was Reebok's first attempt at a home shirt, going back to the oval badge. We had a nice collar here as well. And then one of my favourite things was the Liverbird jacquard. And I don't know if you know this, Jay, is what Reebok wanted to do. You mentioned before about the Liverbird, going back to that badge that you like, just the Liverbird on its own. Reebok actually wanted to do that. They wanted to bring back the Liverbird and just have it on the badge. But because Liverpool wanted to commercialise the crest itself, they wouldn't allow it. So they wouldn't allow us to go out. So they had to create, a new style crest to it. So even though it's the same, they had to reinvent the colours a little bit. And then they thought, well, what are we going to do? Adi had already done a shield. They put it back to the oval badge, back to the Shankly era. But they still saw something really marketable with the Liverbird. So they decided to put it as a jacquard in every one of the kits. And it works really, really well. But it's just ironic now that that's what we've gone back to now, is we've gone back to just the Liverbird on the badge, haven't we?
I think it's fascinating, yeah. And again, we were talking off camera before about the impact of the 90s. You will never get a generation of change and moving forward and innovation as what you do in the 90s. Yeah, the data's come into the game and diet and everything and medical science, and we are where we are today, which is moving into a different AI kind of world that we're in. But the 90s was phenomenal. And you just said there, sports marketing. I mean, Liverpool were playing catch up really to Manchester United, who were moving ahead, with their commercial departments, and Liverpool were slow on the uptake and playing very much catch up. When you're playing, you're obviously immersed in just playing and representing the club and trying to do the best for yourself and for your teammates in the team and whatever, and the fans. And you don't really get mixed up in this. But I remember us leaving Adidas and being quite shocked with it, wondering why. And then wondering why Reebok, because Reebok weren't really a player in the sports marketing world, was it? It was very much Nike were around, Adidas, and probably Puma were hanging on, maybe. And Reebok just come like it was like, we're taking over Liverpool, and this is our step into that. They're an American company, weren't they? Stepping into that era. Now, the funny thing for me was, when I was telling you before about the boots, Reebok, obviously, they were stepping into that market, into the Premier League. They approached me and Ryan Giggs as being their staff players. So Adidas lost me, and Reebok then picked me up. And I signed a really good deal with Reebok. I was on a lot more money. Obviously, my profile had gone bigger because of the World Cup. And obviously now I've signed for Liverpool. So for them, to have a staff player at Liverpool wearing their stuff, I was very much Reebok.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just Reebok, yeah.
I remember, and obviously you very kindly contributed to the documentary for the story of Ecru, and we interviewed everybody from Reebok, including Peter Moore, and he said at the time we needed a big club. We'd just done the World Cup in '94. We wanted to move forward, and obviously him being a big Liverpool fan, and he was vice president of Reebok Soccer, then he was like, that's who I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Liverpool. And obviously they got the contract, which was great. And Dave Singleton, who was the VP for Reebok Europe, he said that a lot of players like Robbie Fowler and that they were contracted to, Jamie was with Mizuno, he was with Nike. Maka, I think, was Umbro as well.
Umbro.
Yeah. And so there's like, well, it went hand in hand because you'd already had the deal, which is great, which is why you were sort of front and center with everything.
Yeah. And
which is great.
So I done all the marketing. I mean, these are brilliant. I mean, can I get this down?
Of course you can, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
The marketing campaign was just, it's just me wearing all the gear. I mean, I did want to go out for lunch on these days, but then, we'll get the yellow one down later because obviously I did a lot. I mean, hanging off.
Look at that.
In a school.
Look at that.
That wouldn't happen today, would it? Hanging off some
Boss
bars in a school.
Though. I mean, you look at this now. The stuff that they did for it was just it was great, wasn't it? It really was. Like I said, it was all you.
But it was a difficult wear because it was like, do you know what it was like? Adidas had the credibility.
Yeah.
So you'd go out in the Adidas stuff and it was credible, wasn't it? And all that. Reebok was like, how am I going to be taken here? Do I look like a Biff?
Not wearing Gola.
Yeah. But it was like that. Like, how am I going to be seen? Like, wearing this gear and that. And, the kit, it changed phenomenal, didn't it? It become a collar.
Yeah.
As you said there.
Just on the collarway, you've gone to that. Now, do you remember Jack Horner?
Yeah, well, Jack obviously was Reebok.
Yeah.
So because I was the staff, I had Jack looking after me.
Yeah.
So he'd come in and do the team.
Yeah.
But I'd get on to Jack and go, Jack, I need boots. Jack. Jack. So
he's a legend.
I give him a dog's life, Jack.
He's great.
Well, it's funny because, working for the club now in the ambassadorial role, I'd go away with them and, I just end up in conversations with the kit suppliers who are talking about the new kit that's to come. And there would be them conversations, 6 months before.
Yeah.
I won't expose anyone, but, they would be saying, no, we don't like that collar and I want that song or I want this on it or we think that should be done. And them conversations, they do happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Jack told me that Robbie Fowler wanted extra large shorts all the time. Make up what you want to that. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got a rather big backside, Robbie. Yeah, not as big as Razors, but Robbie. Yeah. But
it's a gorgeous top though. It is. I love the sleeve cuffs. I think they're great. It was a really nice addition. Because again, it went back to sort of like the mid '80s when we were winning European Cups. It was, and it is arguably one of my favourites, if not my favourite home shirt, because the Jacquard is just really, really good. And again, like 4 or 5 years ago, you could pick this up for like 40, 50 quid. Now, with a name on the back, you're talking 150 plus.
Wow.
It's unreal.
Do you know the thing about this, though? This kit, which I always thought, Adidas could always be creative with the shorts because they had the 3 stripes.
Yeah.
So they could like go stripes that way, which the kit had back in 94, was it?
That's
94,
right, yeah.
95. Or you could have the ones we had where the 3 stripes are down there and they look cool and all that. Reebok just couldn't do anything.
Got the vector, that's it.
Because they just couldn't do anything, could they? It was just like red shorts with a bit of white piping. And they were like, shorts are shit.
Exactly, yeah, you look like
it's like you put that on and go, it's all right, that. And then you put the shorts on and go, oh, shorts. And the socks, just red
Nothing
socks.
to him, was there?
There was just nothing. There was like no substance to it. So I was a little bit like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd fully established myself in the team. I was first choice with this kit.
Yeah.
I have sad memories in this. So the sad memory of this is I broke my leg in this kit, end.
McAteer trying to get round the outside of Billy McKinley, and it ends as a goal kick, but as a problem. It's gone, he's saying. And Tim Flowers, well aware, maybe more aware than the Liverpool medical staff immediately, although I'm sure they'll get on the scene very quickly.
And just to touch on the disparity of where we are today, and imagine this happening to Mo Salah. So, do you know what? I'll put it on because I've got to act it out. Right?
Brilliant.
So I broke my leg. I'm in the kit like this, and I'm in the treatment room. I get carried off, and I'm in the treatment room, and my leg's up like this, right? And they go, "Yeah, you broke your leg, right?" In the kit. So they say to me, "An ambulance is coming." So an ambulance turns up, players' entrance. They come in, they wheelchair me out. So I'm in a wheelchair like this, full kit, boots on, shorts, socks, right? Kit. They haven't even given me a top, right? And I'm in the ambulance, and they get to Vazachley Hospital, and they wheel me down, and they take me into A&E, and they just leave me in reception of A&E. My dad was with me because he'd come out the crowd and got in. So my dad's standing there, and I'm standing like this, and everyone in A&E's going, Macca, what score was it when you come off, mate? I'm like, I think we were getting beat 1-0. I'm like, 1-0 down, mate. I'm sitting with McAteer forward on the back in this kit like that. Waiting for the surgeon.
How long was you waiting for?
10 minutes, 15 minutes. Wait for the surgeon to come out and get me. Oh, that's the other thing about this kit.
Go on. Yeah, the static, yeah. The
material is a bit cheap, isn't it? A bit cheap, the material.
Sorry, Peter.
Yeah,
well, mate, what a story. Just sat there. But
in that kit.
On the flip side to it, you come back, and what did you do in this kit? You fucking scored 2 goals against West Ham.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, the break was. Listen, I got away with it, to be honest. I broke the small bone at the back, and it was a complete right across. So it was a good break if you can have one. So 3.5 months later, I was back. We changed the system a little bit. We'd gone to 4-4-2, I think, for this game, and I played right side, and I set Michael Owen up for an assist, and I got 2 against West Ham, and then if Karl-Heinz Riedler had squared it to me, the greedy German, I would have had a hat-trick. And he shot and went side netting. And that was my chance. That was my chance, yeah. But I got 2 in this kit, against West Ham. Yeah, that was my comeback game.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And what a way to come back as well, mate. Yeah. Really good. But yeah, really boss kit that from Reebok. The Ecru. So
why a documentary on that? Because there was so much around it.
Yeah, so I wanted to know basically why that colour, because why
was that even a name? Is Ecru a name of a colour?
So Ecru is French for unbleached linen.
Okay.
What had happened was Reebok had come in, they wanted to do something completely radical. So you think of a Liverpool away shirt, you're thinking greens, you're thinking whites, you're thinking yellows. That's traditionally those colours. But obviously moving into the 90s where goalkeeper kits were absolutely bonkers, weren't they? And it was let's just do something completely different. So Reebok went to Wade Smith and said...
Robert Wade Smith?
And said...
Give him some of my money.
Yeah,
give him thousands. Yeah. Made him a rich man. We did.
Absolute legend. And they spoke to Chris Lee, who was the creative director.
Oh, Chris. I know Chris very well, yeah.
And Chris was a big help with the documentary. And he said that they saw Bjorn Borg playing in a feeler top.
Yeah.
And it was cream. and it had like a navy trim to it.
That's right, yeah.
So they were
That
like,
cream, was it?
yeah. So they were like,
I just
"We
thought
want
that was like been washed about 20 million times.
No,
That's
it's
all.
cream. So they saw that and it was like, right. So we've got that. We've got the Reebok X Fit beige. This is the colour we're going
What year
for.
are we now? 98?
96, 97. This came out. Yeah.
96, 97.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Yeah, we were buying. So the fashion for us was we were buying Prada back then because we could afford it. Prada, a bit of Gucci was around. Marishi, you know, the pants, the big pants. We were all in them. It was all oversized stuff.
Yeah, that's how it was back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, so the kit obviously was oversized. But I mean, that's fascinating.
That's it. That's the colour they chose, and it was like, right, okay.
So the colour they chose was why? Because of Bjorn Borg.
Because they saw Bjorn Borg playing in that cream colour,
yeah,
and it was different.
Yeah.
And then the Reebok X Fit beige shoes had sold really well. And what Peter Moore and all the designers wanted to do is they wanted something that, not just something that you could wear at the match, but something you could wear Tuesday night in the pub with your mates. And that's exactly what they came up with. Lala.
I mean, that's got a name now, hasn't it? That wear.
Yeah.
And so that's where it was born.
That's where it was born, yeah.
Wow. I mean, the marketing campaign was the Beatles.
Yeah. Which is unbelievable.
And again, I had to do it. Like the others, it was a bit of a conflict of interest because although they were, it was Reebok kit and it was Liverpool, you know, they were, you know, as you said, Umbro, Nike. Yeah. So I don't know how they were allowed to, but I had to do it. I was the staff player, so I was always featuring in that. And then obviously I'd done the catalogue campaign, catalogue. Spent many a day with a catalogue.
Did you just, darling?
Grew up with a catalogue. What was nice about it for me, shorts were great, black shorts.
Yeah.
The numbers, I know that's Paddy's, but the numbers and the names, like,
look how it just looks.
It's just
stunning.
nice,
it's
isn't
stunning.
it? Yeah, yeah.
And you bring that up. You, Paddy, and Robbie were the top 3 selling name sets on the backs of the shirts.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew I lost out on a few quid there. Tell you what, the players will be all over that, aren't
Well,
they?
they just.
I mean, look at the size of it as well.
I know.
Again.
I know.
But you're right. It's as a marketing thing. It's a bit of history in it for Liverpool.
But yeah,
we lost to Paris in this, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, lost away in them.
I seen the footage of that the other day.
Game,
do you know what? Like, every goal they scored, there's a bit of luck in it.
It's annoying.
It's like...
It's annoying.
And then we get them back to Anfield and we battered them, didn't we?
Yeah. But the good thing about this kit is when we talk about your first Premier League goal, because this is what you scored it in.
Yeah, and you're right. 13 stitches I had against Nottingham Forest. Dean Saunders, elbow. I flicked it out from a corner. It was going in and I'm gone like that and I've exposed myself and he just bosh. Yeah. There was a picture in the paper the next day with his elbow right on my head. And I remember going into the dressing room and I'm lying down on the treatment table and their doctor comes in and he goes, right, we'll stitch you up. And he starts stitching me up and then halfway through he goes, oops, I better put these on. Put his glasses on. I thought, oh my God, I'm gonna look like Frankenstein here. So then he carries on and then I got back to Anfield and our doc said, right, I want to have a look at it. And he had a look at it, he went, I want to put a couple of more in. So I think I ended up with about 15 stitches in my head.
Yeah.
And then of course the famous moment is Robbie jumping.
No pen.
Yeah, no pen. Which I think he won an award for, didn't
he?
he?
Yeah, he won for Fair Play Award, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, and then...
How's he won that?
And then...
So, yeah, it gets saved. And everyone says to me now, you know, he missed it on purpose. Listen, Seaman could have dived the other way.
Exactly,
It would have gone in.
Correct.
Seaman dives the right way.
Yeah.
He misses the pen. And it comes to me. And I always used to do this thing where I'd go out the box and I'd run with the penalty taker. So as he kicked the ball, I'd arrive in the box, but I'd have to run on the players.
You would, yeah.
And then it just fell to me and I tucked it away, bottom corner. But I'll tell you what else I'd just done as well, which I was getting pelters for from the Arsenal fans. I'd just done the wash and go advert.
Oh, yeah.
Jason knows you can have it all.
So everyone was just battering me, like wolf whistling and calling me all kinds of names. But I'd just done the wash and go. That was around this time.
Yeah.
So scoring the goal was sweet.
Nice little two fingers to them. Yeah, brilliant. Love it.
And I don't know why I did the celebration where I went on my knees because all the sand just ripped about 3 layers of skin off my knees. But I tried to style it out.
Stitches, yeah.
They do it now and they're all right. They go for about half a mile.
Exactly,
don't they?
yeah. But
in them days, it was just sand.
Yeah.
That was your knees were just ripped to bits. Yeah.
Jason, who were you meant to be there?
Well, I don't like to say John Lennon because he's not with us no more, is he? So probably Paul McCartney. Yeah, I'll be Paul McCartney. He's probably the richest as well.
we move on now to the 1997, 1998. Obviously, we said before that we kept that for 2 years, but obviously Reebok and the way, you know, you sort of make more money now is you've got to alternate your away shirt, and this was before third kits even existed. So again, I was blown away when this came out because it's gone from one extreme to the other. Where this, not something you could probably wear on a Tuesday night with your mates in the pub, but oh my God, what a colour. What a colour.
Do you want to know why I picked it? And I'll be completely honest.
I do.
Right. So at the time...
Because you've said this to me before, that it's one of your favourites. I've always wondered why, so I'm looking forward to it.
Right. So at the time, I was... One of my favourite bands is In Excess.
Amazing.
And I was a big Michael Hutchence fan, and his hair was brilliant. And I think he might have been dating Kylie at the time, who I fancied. And I wanted to look like Michael Hutchence. So I grew my hair. So, and obviously off the back of that, I got the wash and go.
Yeah.
Jason knows he can have it all.
He's the new sensation.
Yeah, all that. So I grow my hair, and then obviously I was still Reebok staff.
Yeah.
So they said to us, right, we're doing a kit launch. So we've got to do the pictures for the catalogue.
Yeah.
At Anfield this time. We're not in some school apparatus hanging off something. We're going to step it up here, right? And I've been on holiday, and I was had a tan, and my hair was like just as I wanted it. And I put this kit on, and I remember looking in the mirror, and I'll be completely honest, and thinking, fuck me, you look like dog's balls. You look $1 million fucking dollars. You are going to have birds all over you. Right? And I just thought, like, you look absolutely bright. The socks down, the red. It was bringing out me tan. My hair was just in the right. Look at the look on that.
I know,
Blue steel before blue steel. I am made up blue steel.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps that you
next to Robbie, you know, Jurgen Nielsen there.
Yeah, Jurgen Nielsen.
But yeah,
I'm sure he. Do you know what I think he did? I think he's the player where the ironing board.
Oh, that was Michael Stensgaard.
Stensgaard was it?
Stensgaard, yeah.
So the ironing board went down. He went to catch it and dislocated his shoulder. I don't think he ever gave it over yet.
No.
And me and Jamie, I mean, look at the side he's were in.
Yeah, little flick.
Oh, like socks down. Oh, it was
Wear it, mate. You know what I mean? I mean, like you said.
That's why.
But that
nothing to do with footy.
No. That's absolutely brilliant. That's mad.
That's honesty.
That is a mad story, that, mate. That's class.
I mean, our team photo that year was just like dreamboat.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was just dreamboat because we'd come of age kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, we were really young when I signed. I was literally 24. This is now 3 years on.
Yeah.
25, you know, you're 27, established pro. I'd sign a new deal, so I would have been on 25 grand a week here.
Single at the time?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Well, yeah, there's a good chance I was, yeah.
But you add all them variables, mate, and you go, fuck, what a time.
But it was just like, you know, and football again, like what you're saying before, we'd entered another era. It was just, you know, I don't know if you've seen it, the Loaded documentary on BBC iPlayer.
No.
So we knew James Brown and Tim Southwell. And we helped them. We helped them a lot with networking and contacts and all that. And I watched the documentary, and I've got to be honest, I didn't realise the 90s was so fucked up. It was like, you were all off your heads on drugs, weren't you? The 90s was just like...
Trainspotting's not a film, it's a documentary.
Yeah. But obviously we were removed from that. But did all the other stuff, like go out.
Yeah.
You know, all of the, you know, we never abused it, but
no,
we were out. And the girls, like, you know, we'd been put into, like, I know it sounds mad, but we were bigger than pop stars. We were bigger than film stars.
Yeah.
We were accessible. I mean, Robbie Williams wanted to be us.
Yeah.
I'm knocking around with Westlife and Boyzone. I mean, Take That came to the Point Depot to play. And me, Phil Babb and Gary Kelly went to watch Take That. And we caused that much of a stir in the audience. Their security asked our security to take us out.
Wow.
Because the band were playing, but everyone was looking at us up here on the balcony.
Wow.
They said, you need to leave. And I remember
That's
it vividly.
Another level of...
But we were on another level. Jamie was like face of top man. I got off the back of that. We had Patrick who came in. He was just like $1 million. Like we were like a marketing dream.
You were.
That's not named Ricey. He ain't got the right colourings for that, has he? It's like, just that was wrong. I mean, that was down the Albert Dock.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How mad's that? What are you pointing out there, do you reckon?
Nothing. It was just like points.
Yeah.
So it was like,
look how much money we're getting from that.
Mate, it was like...
But, you know, when Jack Horner would say to me, like, he had such a good time working with you on it all, because we forget the one thing we've not even spoke about yet, the Harry Enfield wig photograph.
That was the other one. And do you know what? They run a competition. It was spot me.
Spot you, yeah.
In the competition, and you win something. But the other thing about what we were talking about here, and I go back to the very first Reebok, was, is this trendy? Is Reebok acceptable? You know, Adidas is the one. Nike, everyone's been Nike and Adidas. You know, you had Jordan and all that kind of stuff. And we've gone in a completely different direction, and it was a bit of a gamble. But obviously, to the lads who knew, like Peter and then
Chris Lee,
and all them,
they knew.
They kind of knew, but we didn't.
No.
You know, so all of a sudden, this stuff now, this is like Reebok's arrived. It's on the map.
Yeah.
It's like fucking trendy to be in.
Absolutely. You got Jason McAteer, Jamie Redknapp, Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman, and Patrick Berg wearing it.
Yeah, but they'd gone, and the whole thing was just for them.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a dream on it. I think they sent me, they done 5 postcards of their global ambassadors.
Yeah.
And it was me, Giggsy, this basketball player. I mean, if you look at it now, you just laugh, right? But back in the day, I was older than my own.
Especially when you're doing looks like that.
Yeah, not wrong. I mean,
brilliant.
Blue Steel it. But yeah, it was just, we'd arrived.
Yeah.
And we'd arrived.
Out of all these then, which one would you pick as your favourite if you had to?
Well, I looked the bollocks in this one.
You do look the bollocks in this one, yeah. That's official.
That one had probably the most memories in it.
Okay.
That one had a lot of memories and changed the landscape, as you've just said, of football kits.
Yeah.
That one, memories, a lot of different things because of Reebok, and I broke my leg in it, and you know, a lot of different stuff we changed over. Unknown, we're all in the unknown with this one, but mate, I started and I'll end there. There's nothing prepares you. I mean, for McAteer 4, I'm putting that on.
Yeah,
it's just hanging there when you walk into that dressing room, and all your life you've wanted to play for Liverpool, all your life, and the minute you walk through the door and you look around and there's your shirt hanging up and you're a Liverpool player. There's nothing like it. There's just nothing. That day will be like, it's just, that kit is just, it's just the bollocks. Yeah,
love it.
That's it. Mate, very special.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you so much.
Brilliant, I enjoyed that.
What an episode that was. Really appreciate your time, Jay, honestly. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it at home. Leave a comment, let us know what your favourite McAteer moment was. And we'll look forward to the next episode. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.